Hey guys, this is the Dark and Rose here. It's been a while since I've done a narration. Yes, I know. I keep saying that now. It's just gonna be a running thing until I can get this scheduling shit sorted out. Anyways, you guys might be hearing different because I'm actually using Audacity now. Before I actually used the Windows voice recorder, and you guys might be hearing a difference. You guys might not be hearing a difference. I don't know. But for now on, after this narration, I will be recording my audio files using the software. So yeah. I hope it actually does sound better. And yeah. Anyways, I apologize dearly for taking so long for getting this narration done. I was actually trying to focus on Twitch and my gaming channel because I really need a schedule, like when I need to upload videos and when, and like just have some sort of organization for once. I did not forget about you guys. I did also have to finish my fan fiction story, Red Snowflakes, and I literally just concluded that like 4 or 5 days ago. So yeah, I am pretty much done with fanfiction writing for at least like a few weeks. You know, I'm going on hiatus for a while because that was a long time since I've actually wrote that story, and I just finished. So yeah. Anyways, I started this recording in the morning, so I may sound tired in the beginning, but it does get a little better. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoy this. We're going to be starting with chapter 49, and I did at least 49 up to 52, I believe. So this is more like a treat for taking so long. Here we go. And I hope you guys enjoy. Kitty cat. Kitty cat. Oh, kitty cat. I let out a loud groan as I roll over onto my back and bump into something. I open my eyes and groan at the brightness of the room despite there being only one window. I look up to see Yang sitting at the edge of the bed with her back towards me while she looks at me from around her shoulder with a smile on her face. Hate to wake you up. I want to go to town in about a half an hour, so get down quickly, okay? As soon as she finishes her sentence, she stands up and jogs to the ladder, leaving me in bewilderment as to why she is rushing. If you think I am that pissed at you about the whole situation, I'm going to hurt you, Yang, I say out loud to myself. Wow, okay. Makes sense for me to be up this early just so that I can sound tired, like Blake here. Lazily, I keep rolling towards the edge of the bed until my last roll leaves my back, feels no cushion to land, and I fix that by twisting my form before my short fall to the ground can even begin, landing silently on my fingers and balls of my feet. I feel a breeze greeting my body, and I hear a rustling sort of noise that is relatively close to me. I look underneath me, which is where I believe it is coming from, and I see the sides of my yukata are dragging along the floor. Couldn't close it up for me, Yang? I bet you were just eyeing my body while you were waking me up. Well, at least my bra and pant. I need to change those before I go downstairs. I pause a moment and sniff the air, shaking my head and quickly changing my mind. Let's make that a shower. I move to my feet and walk over to the nearby window of the attic. Now that I think about it, it probably wasn't the best idea to let Yang have her way with me in the attic, but for a different reason than most would expect of me. I rather not have Ruby come up here to work on her little workstation recognize a different scent. Most people wouldn't notice, but I would be top dollar that Ruby, being weapon nut that she is, would notice when there is not the complete scent of metal, wood, or that garage basement scent that is not a good or bad scent but has its appeal to many. To fix the issue of the scent, I open up the window, leaving it as wide as possible. It's a slow working solution, but it is more discreet than finding an air freshener or anything else that would reveal I am hiding something or attempting to hide something. I hope Yang has a spare bath towel and hopefully a washer. Kitty, don't do this to me. To fix my yukata, I fix my yukata, wrapping it around my entire form and retying the sash to keep it secured. I walk over to the ladder, but instead I go next to it and lower onto my hands and knees at the side of it. I've seen Yang open the hatch and simply hop down, but I am too tired to make the small jump and decide for a different approach that is just as fast. In a quick movement, I move sideways on all fours with a tiny hop that lands me right on the climbing tool. The moment my weight settles onto it, I can feel it go from being horizontal to slowly shifting into a vertical position as it lowers. Before it goes all the way down, I step off, landing on the second floor hallway, and watching it as it goes back up to close. Unfortunately, I get distracted by something as simple as the swaying string that is used to pull down the hidden entryway from the hallway, and take the opportunity to hit it gently. My eyes glue onto the target, following it with playful abandon until I remember that Yang could be nearby, and will not let me forget a mental lapse such as that. You're going to break my back, you brute. You're going to break my back, you brute. Oh, sorry, guys. I'm up early. I'm not that ready yet. I heard the complaints of Weiss nearby, but for some reason they were coming from Yang's room. I walk over to the open the doorway and peek inside, subjecting myself to an odd yet somehow humorous display. Weiss is laying on Yang's bed, wearing a pair of Ruby's rose petal pajama pants and no top. In fact, the only thing covering the heiress's small bust is a towel placed conservatively beneath her that Weiss is using her arms to hold up to hide any side boob sightings. Yang is not too far away from the spectacle. Actually, she is kneeling right over the heiress with her knees on either side of the pale form while she appears to be resting her ass on Weiss's. A close look and I can see Yang running her hands along Weiss's back, but with added force each movement while her fingers appear to each have a specific task. Yang's hands are glowing a bit and there's a look of frustration on her face. I'm trying my best here, princess. Fact of the matter is that I need to put a little force, alright? Yang sighs, keeping a much calmer attitude with Weiss than normal. Hey, only I get color, princess. Of course you cannot forget Little Red. The adorable silver-eyed crimsoness is seated on the floor with her back against the bed. Until now she has been reading a magazine that is still held in her hands, along with a pair of red headphones I recall her telling me she got from dusk till dawn, but in the heat of her heroics, forgot she had them. Ruby is now looking over her shoulder at Yang, unamused that Yang addressed Weiss by a pet name Ruby likes to use. Man, I think it's just your idea, George, but I mean, I think that was Ruby's headphones, like, in general. Anyways, after a quick stay, Ruby goes back to reading her magazine. While she is turning the page, I get a read of the title and let out a quiet sigh. Weapons Weekly. Really, Ruby? I can't believe Ruby's sleeping bag did this to me. I'd rather try my luck with the couch or even the recliner at this rate. Weiss complains, while Yang continues her massage. You'll survive. As a matter of fact, I am done. Just need to do one more thing. Don't you panic on me now. Yang says and begins leaning down over Weiss. I'll watch as Yang's left arm reaches over Weiss's form, more specifically around the front of Weiss's shoulders and going over the collarbone before reaching the other shoulder. Slowly, Yang begins to pull Weiss backwards, making the heiress's back arch until a long series of cracks are heard, making flinches of minor pain appear all over Weiss's face. Growing in intensity after each crack occurs in a domino effect. Satisfied her work, Yang lets go, allowing Weiss to collapse onto the bed again. The pained face soon softening along with a frustrated look on Yang. Thanks, Weiss whispers, reaching out to place a hand on Ruby's head, who immediately turns to place a quick kiss on Weiss's forearm. Not a problem. Ruby can go get your suitcase so you can dress in here. I'll just wait downstairs for you two. Yang says and climbs off the heiress, and at the same time I step into the doorway to make my appearance. Don't rush. I plan on taking a quick shower. Yang, you have a towel I can use? All three sets of eyes lock onto me, though Yang is the one to speak. Yeah, there's a tan towel in the basement. Just use that. Guessing you want me to bring your clothes to the bathroom? Yang asks, smiling as she walks towards me. Shit, I forgot to bring my clothes down. She's far too observant of me. That'd be nice. Also, good morning, Ruby. Good morning, Weiss. I lean to the side to see by Yang while I greet the two. Ruby gets an absent-minded wave, completely entranced in her magazine, and Weiss returns the good morning without moving from the bed to preserve her modesty. Alright, just leave the door unlocked, Yang says and walks past me to tug down the ladder, while I make my way a few feet to the bathroom that is not on the other side of the hall. But that is on the other side of the hall. That is not, right? I open the door and walk inside, closing it behind me. The bathroom walls are sky blue with tiny bath towels that match. The porcelain white bathtub dominates the right half of the room. Directly ahead of me, bolted into the wall, but within arm's reach from the bathtub, is a towel rack with the tan towel Yang mentioned earlier. The sink is the closest thing to me, sitting at my left with a large mirror above it. It's a reoccurring thing now. I'm just yawning every time I narrate. The sink is a porcelain white, just like the tub, but the front and sides are shellacked wood. I don't even know how to say that correctly. Sorry. The toilet is in the far left corner. Of course, it is also porcelain, except for the bowl and lid, which are both also shellacked wood. On the floor in front of the tub is a large wood-brown mat to step on to make sure whoever is stepping out of the shower doesn't slip. I waste no time stripping off my yukata, letting it fall where it may. The next to follow is my bra, then my panties. I hate it when people hold me up so naturally. I hate to do the same. I plan on making the shower a quick lather, rinse, and let my hair dry outside. Fortunately, the shower knobs are set up in the same way as in Beacon, having 3 knobs, 2 controlling the hot and cold water, and the third alternating the path of the water. I twist both knobs and even them out and let the water warm for a second. So far, the only thing I have to complain about the bathroom is that the shower curtain is see-through. I mean, it is a family house, and I'm sure the bathroom door is locked when someone is inside, but I feel there should be a second curtain for decoration or something. That's how my bathroom is. I actually complain about the second curtain. I reach back into the tub to feel the running water, turning the hot water knob a bit more and turning the center knob to make the water change to the shower head before I hop in. The water is at a temperature that I barely feel the difference as it cascades my body. I search around for the bar of soap, and my immediate attention is obviously my inner thighs in a more intimate area. Oddly enough, as I shower now, it reminds me of the aftermath of my first kiss with Yang. I can recall every pattern she traced on my ear that day, and not once did I feel she did it out of lust. She never pushed her luck and filled me up or became overly aggressive with me. It's odd now that I realize it, but the blonde brother who is famous for having her fun, ending things after a week, and continuing on to a new person is also the same person who waited over a month to make a first attempt with me, and even then did not go further than what she felt was right. Yang's mentality with me has not changed in the slightest. She makes no advances since I make none and becomes brave enough to push things slightly further. I literally said mentality in the fucking worst way possible. If she were to take the lead more, I would not complain, but I cannot complain either to know that she is following my example, allowing me to dominate the pace of our relationship, even if it means not advancing at all. I suppose I could try a bit more to open up to her. She's my girlfriend and my partner. I think opening up is the best thing I can do for the both of us. I finished lathering up my thighs and began working on my stomach, torso, and breast, and finally getting to my shoulders and arms before letting the water wash the soap suds off of me. I can let out a sigh of relief now that I have a cleaner feeling on my body, but I still need to wash my back, which is always a pain. I hear the bathroom door open and my eyes immediately snap to the door. I watch as Yang walks in, staring at the toilet while she walks over and lays my clothing down on the lid for me. While she turns around, she makes sure she turns to her back she turns so her back is towards me, clearly making attempts to avoid peeking into the see-through curtain. Just as she reaches the door, I end up calling out her name, without realizing until the words already leave my lips. Yang. She freezes in place, turning to face me but keeping her eyes closed. Didn't be a kitty cat, I swear, she defends. Yang has never seen me naked. The most she has seen was me being topless, and that was only because I just came out of the shower in our dorm room and had no idea she was in the room. When I said Yang has never made any advances in our relationship, I meant even the baby steps. I need someone to wash my back, I say bluntly, and immediately a blush begins to cross her lips. Not cool to mess with me like that, Blake. I'm not after your body. I told you that several times. You don't gotta think that I was lying because of what happened this morning. She sighs and I sigh as well, realizing that my timing for this is not the greatest, especially since Yang is very defensive and cautious and that messed things up with me. I decide to sit on the corner of the tub, having to move the curtain out of the way to make room. My back is towards Yang and I take a slow deep breath before continuing. I have no doubt in my mind that my cheeks are on fire and I keep my gaze inside the tub to avoid Yang seeing my blushing face. I'm not messing with you, Yang. Are you going to help me out or not? The air is cold. I peek over my shoulder to see if she is still there, using my shoulder to hide my cheek from view. I watch as she opens her eyes and sees the position I am in. With my right hand, I hold out the soap behind me, waiting for her to take it, which she eventually does with a shaky grip. I'm seriously not messing with you, Yang. Can you just hurry up? I say, a slight uneasiness in my words. A shiver erupts through my spine when I feel the bar first touch my back, and Yang makes quick work of lathering me up, and does nothing else than what I ask of her. You're too considerate for your own good, Yang. I'm not good at these things. There you go. All done. she whispers, and I watch as a tossed bar of soap is sent flying over my shoulders and slide around in the tub before stopping over the drain. Thanks, I whisper. While standing up, I feel a slight mix of feelings. Anger, annoyance, reassurance, and trust. All of these from Yang not doing a thing extra than what I asked her to do. She's so thick-skulled. Oh, and Blake? I hear her say my name with honey coating her lips. Oh, hold on. Oh, and Blake? Oh, there you go. I haven't stepped towards the water yet, so I am still the same distance as before. Except since I stood up, my bare bottom is exposed to her eyes. Although I doubt she is taking the chance to look. The one time I wouldn't mind. Yeah? I answer, looking over my shoulder again, just in time to see her lean in and press her lips to my cheek with a smile on her face. Next time, how about we shower together or something? I think it's fair if you can have something to look at too. She explains and quickly makes her way out of the bathroom. I walk underneath the water again and turn around. Letting the water get I walk underneath the water again and turn around. Letting the water get all the suds off of me, and shortly after I turn off the water completely. I reach out the tub for the tan towel to dry myself as quickly as possible. The clothes Yang left for me are my usual attire. The same clothing I came to Beacon wearing. That's her combat attire, I guess. She even went as far as to leave the ribbon I used to cover my ears on top of the rest of my clothes. The gesture brings a smile to my lips when I start to dress. And when I start to dress. And when I say dressed, making quick work of putting on my outfit and making my way out of the bathroom. Yang's room door is open when I leave the bathroom, so naturally I peek in and see her sitting on her bed, wearing her usual brown jacket with the short shorts she loves so much. She notices me immediately and gestures to the top of her head, and I shake my head at her. I did put on my bow and she noticed that right away, but she doesn't know it was on purpose. I'm going to test your uncle's advice. I want to see just how fun and friendly the people of Patch are. I smile at Yang and walk into my room, setting my ribbon onto her table. You won't regret it. Everyone is really nice here. If anyone forgets their manners, then I'll bash their face in. You should see me right now. I literally just did a reassuring thumbs up, yeah. Damn it, kitty. You're a good cat, but sometimes you piss me off. All right. Yang grins, cracking her knuckles in preparation. Thanks, Yang, but I'd rather people respect me of their own free will rather than your threat of a death punch over my shoulder. Yang gets up from her bed and starts walking towards me, shrugging her shoulders. Fine, fine. What? What? I don't know if anyone heard that, but apparently Siri activated herself. God damn it, fucking Siri. God. Okay, cool. Alright. Oh, shit. I literally lost my place thanks to that. Son of a bitch! Alright. Yang gets up from her bed and starts walking towards me, shrugging her shoulders. Fine, fine. I'll let them be rude. Then before we leave town, I'll punch every last person who was rude to you. I can't tell if she is joking or not. Yang is always ready to defend the three of us, even Weiss, despite Yang being one of the main people to mess with Weiss. Yang, if you don't cause any troubles in town, I'll sit on your lap as much as you want for the rest of the day on top of tomorrow. Seems like something to get her to relax. Really? Her face and eyes light up like a puppy, just like Ruby when Weiss promises her cookies. Yes, Yang. That doesn't mean that if I am sitting in the living room, you could pull me into another room to sit on your lap. Whatever room I am in at the time. That's the only rule. Deal! Yang runs up to me and gives me a soft hug. Well, I guess we should head out. Ready? I ask, waiting for Yang to let me go before I walk to the door with her following. Yep, head outside and I'll grab Ruby and Weiss. Yang is right behind me, appearing to be a lot calmer than this morning. I'm glad. I'll try to help move things along, Yang. But you better not be so dense either. Although I can't wait to meet this former lover of yours, I wonder if she has more in common with me than just being a faunus. Actually, I don't care. I just want her away from you. Lead the way, Miss Xiaolong. I chuckle. Alright, that was chapter 49, guys. Oh man. For waking up early in the morning, that was like a track record. Seriously, cannot believe that. Alright. Ooh, this is cool. Alright. Well, I mean, the title, I mean, this chapter, I mean, okay, we are fucking finally on chapter 50. You don't even know how much this is meaning to me at this moment. Oh god. My cat. He's like getting barraged with my awesome ruffling of his fur.
Hey man, can you not rough my fur so rough?
Cool. Anyways, yeah, let's get down to it. Oh man. We still got a lot of chapters to go, I know. Alright. 1 chapter down, 4 more to go. Here is chapter 50. Not the greatest first impression. This is in Weiss's POV. I mean, oh man, I literally forgot when I started the last chapter to say the POV. By the way, chapter 49's POV was in Blake's. Just saying that right now. Yeah. Alright. Let's get down to it. Oh man, I can't stop snapping my fingers like that. Alright. Watch as Yang makes her exit from the room along with Blake. Blake making a left turn after passing the doorway to go to the bathroom. Okay. Yang makes a right turn and the slight creak of the attic entrance being pulled down is heard, followed by the sound of her climbing the ladder into the attic. Ruby, could you get my clothes for me? I ask her, hugging the towel to my chest. I take a moment I said it right anyways, I don't know why. I take a moment to move my hips and twist in every possible direction. Yang did wonders, and the remaining pain is minimal. I hear from Ruby, who continues to read through her magazine. She's been completely silent, at least when it came to talking to me the entire time Yang was treating my back. And knowing how Ruby can be, I feel I already know what is eating away at her. Alright, Ruby, you know I was against taking off my shirt, but Yang was right. To be able to work without problem, I need to lose my top, and unfortunately my bra as well. I should have said that with a pause. I have no feelings for your sister in the slightest, so why are you being such a grouch? I shake my head, looking on as Ruby flips a page in the magazine. Okay, I thought my cat was messing with something. Looking on as Ruby flips a page in the magazine that I can see from over her shoulder. ... I don't know how to... I mean, I could have just stayed silent, but you guys would have been like, did my video just pause? Alright. That silence from her is something I hate to hear. Ruby couldn't keep quiet to save her life, making that much more bothersome when she keeps quiet with me. This has been the second time she gives me the silent treatment. The first was when I forgot that her favorite food is actually strawberries and not cookies, but the silent treatment from then only lasted about half an hour. Ruby, you know I hate it when you're quiet with me. If you don't talk to me, then how am I supposed to know how you feel? Unfortunately, I am no mind reader, Ruby Rose. Now tell me why you're so bothered so we can move on. I hold the towel light tightly over my bust while I lean off my bed partially to give Ruby's cheek a kiss before retreating back onto the bed to avoid giving my towel a sec... To avoid giving my towel a chance to fall. Sorry, I was running out of breath. Because, she begins, and like most children, she trails off into silence, still looking at her weapon magazine. Because... Talk to me, dolt, and put the magazine down for remnant's sake. I roll my eyes, but she is quick to comply. After her magazine is down, she looks over her shoulder at me with an angry look, but it was the angry look of hers that still bore an amazing amount of cuteness to it. You could have woken me up if you had back pain. I don't have the gift of Yang's semblance, but I learned how to deal with knots and body aches since Yang used to come home sore from the gym all the time. The anger in Ruby's eyes softened to sorrow and even jealousy. I suppose the bigger effect on her was having her sister give me a massage that Ruby feels she is far more capable of doing. My guess on what Ruby was mad about was completely off, and now I feel awful. One, for assuming that she was just being jealous that I took my top off for Yang, regardless of the purpose or situation, and two, because she was mad over my health and was more worried than anything. I didn't know you knew how to give massages. You never told me, so how am I supposed to know such a thing? I defend, reaching a hand out to place on Ruby's cheek. I used to give Yang massages all the time during the first semester. How could you not notice? Ruby argues, although after a moment to think, I realize something. Ruby, where was I most of the time during the first semester in the early evenings? I don't know. And when does Yang get home from her workouts? Early evenings. Adult, most times I was in the library studying or taking time to practice my footwork with Murdermaster. That's why I never saw you giving a massage to Yang. Ruby is quick to wrap her arms around me, whispering several sorries at a breakneck pace. I should be pissed at her for being mad at me so unjustly, but it's become harder and harder to get or stay mad at her. Sorry, Weiss, but I don't want you laying in that sleeping bag anymore. You're sleeping in my bed tonight, and that's final. She has a pouty tone with her words. Usually when that happens, it means she won't give me an easy time. We all need to speak with Yang about that, RWBY. I'd rather not risk the chance of going to sleep next to you and waking up somewhere in a ditch. I sigh, pulling RWBY's head closer to mine so I can give her cheek a kiss. Fine. RWBY reluctantly agrees. Now, can you please go get my Now, can you please go get me my clothes? Nope. RWBY pulls free from the hug and has a grin on her face. And why not? I need to get dressed, I shout at her, but she still smiles at me. Because I want to kiss first, she states simply, making me both happy and annoyed. Fine, but just a quick one, I answer, leaning over with closed eyes and puckered lips. Seconds later, her lips are pressed to mine in a quick peck that turns into 2, then 3, and finally 4 before she is satisfied and skips out of the room to her bedroom to get my clothes. I swear, she is such a pest sometimes, but she's my best. A few seconds later, I see Yang walking past the room door with a full stack of clothing for Blake in her arms. One of the few times I see Yang and her kind is when I comes to play. And to be quite honest, it is a bit scary to see how kind Yang is capable of being. I was especially surprised that she is willing to help my back problem without so much as me begging or saying I owe her anything in return. I close my eyes and decide to relax, finding that to be the quickest way to pass the infinite seconds while I wait for RWBY to get into the room with my clothes. Roughly 2 minutes later, RWBY comes into the room with my clothing, announcing herself with fucking yawning. Roughly 2 minutes later, RWBY comes into the room with my clothing, announcing herself with slight squeaks in the floorboards from her weight, although those squeaks were only present on certain parts of the hallway and at this doorway to Yang's room. Aw man, I hate those fucking creaks. About time, dolt, I whisper before opening my eyes, looking at the small amount of clothing she has. I spot that she went as far as to find a bra that matched the white panties I have on underneath the pajama pants I borrowed from her. She is also already dressed in her usual red and black attire, along with her cape secured and ready to go. Well, sorry, your suitcase was super duper organized, so I had to lift things out and put them back in to find your stuff. Why would you put your bras at the very bottom anyway? She sighs, placing the clothing next to me, and then goes to close the door. I shake my head, more to the fact that she is completely correct. I would have scolded her if I found my suitcase in an unorganized mess later. Well, thank you for fixing my suitcase. I slide off of the bed and toss the towel back onto it while I reach down for the white bra sitting on the top of the pile. Before I begin putting it on, I feel a stare on me and turn my head to see RWBY looking at me with an absent stare. Dolt! Sorry! She shouts and turns to the door, keeping her gaze away from me until I tell her my bra is on. Whether I'm in a towel, topless a few times, or starting to change, she always loves to watch me, and to be honest, I don't mind it much. But it is also slightly embarrassing with how she stares. I mean, it's fucking absent-minded. Yeah, she and I consummated, but I suppose that is a different scenario altogether. She was being a jealous girl, and I was feeling brave for once, and with those 2 personality changes, we ended up going further than I would normally accept, but do not regret a moment of it. Soon enough, I am dressed in my full white outfit, and all that's left is for me to get Murdermaster from RWBY's bedroom, and do my hair into the usual French braid I am accustomed to. French braid? Just because we are going into town doesn't mean I should go with a cutesy look, as RWBY would call it, or that I should leave my weapon. I'm very big on first impressions and preparing for every possible contingency. Going into town may be a normally safe trip, but there's always that one time. Alright, let me go get Murdermaster and a scrunchie, I say, walking past RWBY to the door. Don't you mean 2 scrunchies? She asks from over my shoulder, following me to her room. No, RWBY, I am going to town with a French braid. It is my first time at Patch and I need to go in a less childish look for image purposes. I explain. Twin tails are not childish. They're super adorable and I love them on you, Ruby defends while we enter her room, and I go into my suitcase to pull out a scrunchie. It's not up for debate, Ruby. I'll wear my twin tails as much as you want after this, but this is the formality I need to go through with. Understand? I ask in my softest voice, my fingers beginning to deftly do their magic and work my hair into a 3-strand French braid. Why not just go with the side ponytail you use then? She asks, while I pull my hair over my shoulder to continue the braid. Because a braid looks much better, Ruby. My personality has changed a lot since I came to Beacon. Believe me when I say I've become a lot more humble. I just wish to make a good impression with whoever we encounter. It would be bad to leave a foul first impression in Patch. It would make it harder for the next time I come by. Next time? She asks, tilting her head when she sits next to me. I assume you would like me to come to Batch on other occasions, would you not? It's not like my family's the most friendly, and to be honest, the breathing space I'm giving over there is nothing to be proud of. It's a lifestyle you would get annoyed at within seconds. On top of my father probably being less than pleased with the fact that I'm not going out with someone of prestige. Of course I would. Me and Yang would love to bring you back, she shouts with an optimistic smile. Yang and I correct her horrible English and nod my head. I'm glad to hear that, but only speak for yourself, Ruby. You don't know if Yang is pleased with me being here. Plus, there still goes the fact that I need to meet your father. Oh, come on. Dad's gonna love you. You're awesome. Ruby, he may love me as a person. That may take a while. I'm not sure what kind of respect or detest he has for my grandfather's company. And frankly, if someone came in that is set to take over a company that I hate, I wouldn't want them anywhere near me. And I hope that is not the type of person he is. But at the same time, I cannot be upset if he is. I take a deep breath, finishing my French braid and securing it at the end with the scrunchie. He's going to like you, Whites. I promise. I hear Ruby whisper and hug me before I get a chance to respond. Her hold is gentle and it brings a smile to my lips. Out of instinct, I reach around to hug her back, sliding my hand underneath her cape rather than over it. Alright, I'll drop it. Now let's go downstairs, alright? Ruby lets go of me after I speak and we both nod our heads. I go into my second suitcase and take out Murder Naster from the case that was inside the suitcase and hilt my weapon on my left hip. I'm surprised Ruby doesn't question me about bringing Murder Naster. Gotta make sure it's recording because I paused it for a moment. Alright. We go downstairs and sit in the living room. Ruby sitting on a corner of the couch and leaning against the armrest while I lay myself against her with my head on her right shoulder. I have my ponytail going down my right shoulder as well, leaving her ample room on my left cheek to pepper her in kisses. Ruby, what are you doing? I ask with an amused tone. Kissing my girlfriend, she states simply. No, you're not. Yes, I am, see? She continues to plan her kisses. I roll my eyes and turn my head, pressing my right hand to her cheek to hold her still, while I offer my own series of kisses to her lips. Now you're kissing your girlfriend, I whisper to her, getting an absent-minded as an answer before having her hand pressed to the back of my head and pulling me back into our gentle lip lock. The position is slightly uncomfortable at the moment, so instead I turn myself around, putting my knees on the couch and placing my hands on the arm of the chair behind Ruby in order to hold myself up. To complement my change in posture, Ruby places one hand on my lower back to assist in pulling me up towards her, and the other hand on my upper back to linger. What starts off as a gentle kiss eventually turns into a more passionate French one as it usually did. Wait, French one? Ruby's lips part a bit more than they already were, and I instantly know what she is seeking. I bind my own just slightly and challenge her wandering tongue with my own before it even touches my lips. You know, I just wonder how I can get through these parts where it just gets so descriptive with the whole kissing portion. So yeah, I mean this time around I'm annoyed by it, but yeah. But no one heard that. The surprise of me technically starting to kiss sends her instantly to a new gear. I feel the tensing in both of her arms as she pulls me tightly against her form and chooses to roll over partially. It's an odd position she tries to adopt, but when she finishes her shifting, we are both on our sides on the sofa with me sandwiched between her and the backrest of the couch. The entire time I let her move me to her wishes, knowing she is strong enough to not need much assistance from me. As far as I was concerned, I had something much more important to do, and that is kissing my adorable girlfriend. Our kissing goes on for an undetermined amount of time, but is eventually broken up by Yang clearing her throat. Wow. RWBY immediately breaks away by leaning once more to steal a final touch of our lips before looking at Yang, who has a large laundry bag over her shoulder. Getting brave there, eh, Ice Queen? She asks with a playfulness in her voice. Not a problem. She gestures her. I mean, I would just imagine Yang being so like just being infuriated. You just hear like breathing like, and like she's like about to explode. She's like, not a problem. I would love that so much. She gestures next to her to Blake, who is mostly hidden by the doorway, but more importantly has most of her scroll hidden except for the camera portion that has a little red light next to it. My eyes widen, my cheeks adapt to a red shade that rivals the old color of RWBY's tips. Dispose of that recording this instant, I shout, sitting up on the couch but not being able to get off since RWBY is blocking me. And why should we? Yang asks, a wider smirk present on her face. Because you just invaded the privacy of RWBY and myself. That is uncalled for and very childish of the two of you, I scream. Don't be so dramatic. Don't be so dramatic, Blake says in her usual monotone and turns to leave the house with Yang following. RWBY is also quick to get up and helps me to my feet with a smile on her face. They're just having fun, Weiss. You know Blake would never do anything bad with a video. As a matter of fact, I think it is better than Blake was the one recording. Come on, they're leaving us. RWBY's observation skills are getting way better than I could have imagined. I mean, she's fucking team leader. I don't know. She is completely right, and should be thankful that Blake decided. She's completely right, and I should be thankful that Blake decided to record what. She's completely right. Should be thankful that Blake decided to record, most likely to avoid Yang getting a hold of said recording. RWBY and I walk out the front door, closing it behind us, and seeing Yang and Blake already pretty far ahead. RWBY enters a small jog to catch up, while I take on a fast walking pace that allows me to catch up to the trio slowly but surely. When I get somewhere within 10 feet of them, we are already entering town. RWBY slows down to let me catch up to her. Took your time, princess, she smiles, placing an arm around my waist and matching my speed. Not like you waited for me, dolt. Anyway, how big is this place? I ask, looking around as the pure gravel road we walked over to get here picks up concrete along the sides. Huh? Is this town a circle? Big square? A strip? How many blocks in each direction? Oh, haven't gone all the way to the end. It's really far, but like, going sideways, RWBY clarifies, what she means by pointing to her left and right while we walk. It's 3 blocks in each direction, ending in a cul-de-sac on each. I nod my head. I like to know just how big the area I am wandering is. If RWBY hasn't gone all the way to the end of the town, that means it must be a pretty long strip, but just how long is it? With houses ending on each side of the side streets, there is no chance of getting lost or going in the wrong direction, especially with the scattered shops and tiny stores that decorate the main street. Alright, you two, Yang calls out while she stops at the nearest corner. We are about 5 blocks into the 5 blocks into the town. This is mainly for Weiss and RWBY. You know your way around. Wait, this is mainly for Weiss, RWBY. You know your way around. Just no going to the end, got it? You never let me see what's down there, Yang. I want to know. RWBY pouts, but a firm stare from Yang silences the pouting sister. I see. Bad side of town. Is that it, Yang? Alright, Weiss. Laundromat is on the next block. Can't miss him. Across the street and another 3 blocks after the laundromat is the kickboxing gym I practice at. You go another block after that and there's a deli that makes epic sandwiches. Ever need something quick and tasty, you go there. Finally, and I believe this is what you want to know most, is that a block after the deli is a supermarket. Ying smiles, pausing a moment to think if she forgot anything, but ultimately shakes her head and this time addresses the 2 of us. I'm going to send my clothes to watch and some of Blake's. Afterwards, the 2 of us will be in the gym. If you 2 need anything, Blake has her scroll. I forgot mine. Yang pauses, eyeing the 2 of us. Got it? Yep, RWBY says with her usual hyperactive attitude. Crystal, I answer and begin crossing the street with RWBY while Blake and Yang go into the laundromat. Just as Yang said, 3 blocks after the laundromat is a large gym with a sign reading Breakneck Brandon's Boxing Gym. I should say that, I'm going to say that in Rob Schneider's voice. Breakneck Brandon's Boxing Gym. Rob Schneider in the ultimate large gym of Patch. Oh my god. What am I doing with my life? Oh, I'm narrating fanfics and streaming on Twitch. As Ruby and I pass by, we see two people in a ring without any padding fighting each other. I watch the brief exchange of blows, then see something odd that grabs my attention as we pass by. One of the fighters appeared to have several spasms before collapsing and being declared knocked out, and the other fighter stood there doing a few short strikes as a victory celebration. "Hey, I know that one!" Ruby shouts. "I'm going to say hi. Ruby, I better not go into such a barbaric dwelling. That's something meant for Yang." Then just keep going. The supermarket is another 2 blocks from here. I'll catch up. In the back of the supermarket is another counter where they'll give you any vegetables and stuff you need. Wait, but okay, bye. And she is gone with the use of her semblance to disappear to the large double doors of the gym. Wanted to go with you, adults. I sigh, continuing my way down the next 2 blocks before coming across the building with large images displaying items that are on sale for the day. I keep walking until I spot a door to enter and become greeted by the cool, temperature-controlled environment of the supermarket. That's why I'm wearing a fucking jacket. As Ruby instructs, I head straight towards the back on one of the long aisles, but did not see the counter she mentioned. I'm sure she knew what she was talking about, so I continue walking down, passing by each aisle and briefly looking at what is within each section. Wow, she hasn't met anyone yet, which is surprising. I gather that the supermarket sells pretty much anything, although specializes in fish since it is an island after all. As I reach the other end of the market, I see the counter Ruby mentioned. "Need a hand?" A deep voice calls out, startling me while I turn around to see a very tall, well-built bear fawn is wearing a white uniform with a black apron, which must be the standard attire for the employees. He walks past me, lifting a piece of wood to let him go behind the counter, and soon meets up with me from behind the counter. "Well? Oh, sorry. Could I get a pound of lettuce, tomato, and onion?" "You can, but do you want it?" he asks, smiling at me with a playfulness in his tone. "Just being difficult. Coming up." "Thank you," I whisper, looking around while I wait for things to be finished. Hold on, I gotta get away from the mic for this.
Bruh, a pound of lettuce, pound of ketchup, and a pound of Cryers.
Wait, Cryers? I went to the loud voice that has hints of growling in the back of his throat, but he still holds a calm demeanor when he looks at me. "New in town, right? I know pretty much everybody that comes in and out more than once, and usually the people that only come in once are just passing through, and I don't meet them." He leans over the counter, his ears wiggling slightly while he listens. "Yes, I am actually spending a few days here with a friend and her sister," I explain, not completely sure if I should go boasting of my relationship with Ruby to a complete stranger. Well, he's a stranger to me at least. Nice. If you don't mind me asking, could I get a name? Just curious. I should really remember that he has a deep voice. Nice. If you don't mind me asking, could I get a name? Just curious, after all. Not often we get many visitors, and I want to know who was able to drag you to this side of Patch. Well, I'd rather not use Ruby's name. I guess the better choice is, one of the names is Yang. So you're friends with the infamous Bolon Boxer, eh? He lets out a loud, hearty laugh. Oh man, she is one hell of a fighter. Actually, I'm really here with her sister. You see, I go to Beacon, and she invited me to come to Patch for the winter break we are currently on. Although Patch is not that cold, surprisingly. Sheesh, what do you hold all this stuff in? Didn't know Ruby was back in town. Haven't seen her for a while. Last time she was here. He begins to chuckle and continues to speak with small amounts of laughter. She came down that aisle right there, and she just finished making her crescent rolls. I swear she accidentally opened that thing, and oh boy, the mess that girl made. Ironically, nothing broke either, but I was furious and I went over to her. Or in my exact words, "Little girl, you have any idea the damage you caused?" And you know what she says to me? She says sorry and holds out a can to me. He begins laughing harder than earlier. That sounds familiar, just like when I first met her. Sounds like something she would do. I giggle. His laughter becoming slightly contagious with how friendly conversation he is. Alright, anyway, sorry for playing dumb earlier, but what's the Schneer Eyes doing here on Patch? Shouldn't she be in Atlas? He still talks friendly, although I have a question of my own for now. First off, may I know why you pretended to not know who I was? I raise an eyebrow at him, and he shrugs his shoulders. Fair enough. When you turned around, I knew who you were by the snow-white hair and the scar. Haven't heard too many good things about the Schneedust Company, but I'd rather not judge the heiress by her parents' crappy tendencies. No offense. None taken. I agree with you, in fact. Not like I said, I'm here with my partner from Beacon, RWBY. I wanted to see her home and meet her family. It is the best way to build team chemistry between us since we are to be partners for the next 4 years. Weiss, you're lying through your teeth, it seems. What the fuck? But I added that, by the way. Well, I hope Patch teaches you well. His ears raise when the bell rings, and he quickly turns around and walks a few feet before coming back with 3 sealed packs of what I asked for. Hope you wanted them cut. That's how we serve them here. That's fine. I plan on making a salad with them, so that lessens my workload. I held my hand out while he puts the sealed lettuce, tomatoes, and onions in my hands. Not a problem. Those are on the house. Tell Ruby that Ted says hello, alright? Thank you very much. I will. She was supposed to come with me, but she saw someone she knew at the gym and decided to go say hi while I continue over here, I explained, turning to leave. She has pretty short attention span sometimes. Believe me, everyone in town knows. She's more popular here than Yang. She lets out another heavy sigh of laughter that startles me slightly with how loud he is. I think and once more make my exit from the supermarket. As I leave, I turn left to make my way back towards the gym. Deep down the street, I can also see Blake, who's about 2 blocks away, but is really a block away from the gym, which is also my destination. I slow down a bit to match her pace, and eventually we will both meet in front of the entrance. Where's the little red? She asked, looking down at the 3 packagings in my arms. And why didn't you ask for a plastic bag? I forgot, I answered, since I was more of a rush to get back to RWBY. You forgot where your own girlfriend is? She asked with a slight startle in her voice. No, you genius! I forgot to ask for her bag. RWBY's in the gym. She saw someone she knew and wanted to say hi. I see. Well, we might as well go in then. Blake shrugs. Just as we are about to turn to the doorway, we hear it get pushed open, followed by frantic pleas from RWBY. She's not like that! Leave her alone! I turn my head, eyes wide to see an angry cheetah faunus walking towards me with a fist clenched. Within a second, I see the left arm being winded up and thrown at me from a boxing stance. A stance that nearly completely limits Yang. Oh, son of a bitch, my fucking cat opened the door. Sorry about that. Oh, God. Oh, man, okay, I gotta redo that. I turn my head, eyes widening to see an angry cheetah faunus walking towards me with a fist clenched. Fuck. Within a second, I see the left arm being winded up and thrown at me from a boxing stance. A stance that nearly completely mimics Yang. I quickly raise my left hand up, focusing my aura the best I can, and just in time to prepare one of my more powerful gloves in the palm of my hand. The moment her fist makes contact with it, her fist goes flying back, leaving RWBY in shock to see me using the defensive stance I adapted during my spar with Yang over a month ago. What's the big idea? I shout, looking at the tall form that appears to be higher than Yang. Last thing we need is a damn faunus hater and Patch, she snarls. Starting to advance again, but RWBY takes a hold on one of the angry girl's arms. It would be more logical to say that if she were not conversing with me, the faunus labor that her company abuses does not at all explain who she is as a person. But hold on. It would be more logical to say that if she were not conversing with me, the faunus labor that her company abuses does not at all explain who she is as a person. Blake's words are soft and calm while she stands in front of me to block the advances of the other girl. And who the hell are you? I've never seen you in Patch, the tall cheetah faunus asks, with still lingering anger. I'm Yang's girlfriend. Oh man. Okay. Kind of fucked up right there, but who cares? Oh man. Oh my god. No, Blake said it so bluntly that I can't help feel so cheerful at this rate. Fuck yeah. Alright. Okay. Alright, anyways. Oh man, that was a crazy chapter. I kept fucking up too. Which probably might be the same thing for this chapter and the next one. Alright. 2 chapters down. Wait, was it 2 chapters? Oh god, I already forgot. Yeah, it was 2 chapters so far. Alright. 3 more to go. If you count this one. Okay, chapter 51, an explosion. This is in RWBY's POV. Michael Bay is in the process of making this chapter a thing. Okay, that was a dumb joke because I just saw explosion. I just thought of Michael Bay. All right, I mean, who wouldn't think of Michael Bay when it comes to explosions? He fucking overuses them. Alright, this is in Ruby's POV. I wanted to take Weiss to the spot in the river today, but I guess it can't be helped. Oh well. I said quietly enough that Weiss doesn't hear me. We were just coming up on Yang's favorite gym. I look at Weiss, seeing her peek into the gym and become impressed at what she is seeing. I turn my head to see what is going on, and instantly I spot someone I know in the ring. She's the same girl that came to visit Yang that one day. I'm not sure why I remember her so vividly, but there is no doubt that it is her. Hey, I know that one. I'm going to go say hi. Ruby, I'd rather not go into such a barbaric dwelling. That is something meant for Yang, Weiss says. Don't judge a book by its cover, princess. The people here are super nice. They just keep going. Wait, did you say they're super nice? We didn't see that in the last chapter. They just keep going. The supermarket is another 2 blocks from here. I'll catch up. In the back of the supermarket is another counter where they'll give you any vegetables and stuff you need. Teddy's there, so I know she'll be in good hands over there. Okay, bye. I take off immediately for the door. I heard Weiss begin to say something, but I am sure if it is something super important, she'll come in to tell me. The moment I enter, half of the people in the gym turn to look at me. Although the eyes of a large muscular man with pale skin, a black mullet, a black shorts, and a black muscle shirt catches my attention. He walks over to me with his arms folded, flexing his biceps and triceps to flaunt whatever muscle he has. As he reaches me, oh my god, why am I trying to flex? I don't have any fucking flexes, no muscles. I am forced to look almost straight up as he stands at about 6'8". Hey Brandon, I shout with a bright smile on my face. Well, 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 finally decided to come see us, little Falcon Patch. How you been, Tiger? He smiles, dropping to a knee and giving me a tight hug. It is nothing compared to Yang's. That nearly breaks my back with each one, but firm enough to make it impossible to move. On winter break, Yang's in a laundromat setting clothes to watch, then she'll be here right after. Good to hear. Want to get in the ring? You know we'll go easy on you, he asked while letting me go and standing back up. Several of the other people in the gym waving at me. All of them know me through Yang. On weekends or during school breaks from Signal and after school, I would come by to watch Yang fight. Some people would make bets on some of the fights, and Yang would make sure whoever bet against her would buy me cookies if and when she won. The gym became my favorite place to hang out, but one day Yang stopped coming, and I stopped as well since it was no fun without my big sis. I really don't know how to box. When I have my sweetheart, I'm the best there is, I say proudly, earning a laugh from Brandon. Sweetheart, eh? Got yourself a girlfriend? He asked with a snicker in his voice. Huh? Oh, sorry. I blush on my words. I blush on my slip of words. I started to call Crescent Rose my scythe sweetheart. I mean, I do have a girlfriend now, but aha! It's about time. Brought yourself a pretty one in Vale, did ya? He chuckles. When I came out of the closet, some people from my school made it a point to make it public. Oh god. At the time, I was already pretty popular in town for being the bottomless pit of a cookie eater, along with being unmatched in terms of hyperness and unfortunately clumsiness. When word reached the gym about me, nothing changed. Most of the people here are in their young 20s, all the way up to late 30s. With them being older and all, they shrugged off what was being said about me, and everything remained normal. One day, some jerk from school that Yang punched came over for a boxing match that saw me sitting down eating through a box of cookies and Yang on me and made a wisecrack that I will never forget. Hey look, it's that carpet muncher. Yang was in the ring at the time, but when she heard, she was on her way out before Brandon stopped her. I watched as several of the people in the gym surrounded him, but before anything else could happen, someone covered my eyes and told me it's best not to see what's about to go on. He never looked at me for the rest of the year. Well, technically, she's from Atlas, I clarify, feeling my cheeks redden while I think of Weiss. Alright, kiddo, I see you blushing. I'll stop questioning for now, but I want to at least know the lucky girl's name. You need to bring her a patch sometime. You know, we don't bite here. Brandon pats my shoulder and walks back to the ringside to call up someone else to fight, while the person who just won the last match hops out of the ring, taking off the boxing tape and protective headgear. Ruby, wasn't? The person walking towards me asked. It takes me a moment to realize that it is the person who I saw from outside. After her headgear is taken off, I see the familiar cat ears that remind me of Blake's, but the spotted design of them remind me otherwise. She's about 2 or 3 inches taller than Yang and has a confidence in her walk that rivals my sister. You remember me, I smile. Crap, I never did learn her name. She's wearing an orange sports bra and orange boxing shorts, but is wearing no footwear at the moment. As soon as she has her shoes somewhere else. Psh, not easy to forget you, to be honest, she says while lowering down to her knee, matching my height. How's Yang doing? She's doing fine. She may be here soon. She's just washing laundry for now. Oh, is that so? She asks, looking at me with her multicolored eyes. For a moment, I feel a sudden tranquility shoot through my body, and seconds later, I feel myself become dizzy and begin to collapse with her quickly catching me and laughing. Sorry about that. Wasn't sure if it still worked or not. What was that? I ask, a bit startled as she lifts me to my feet and walks me over to a bench to sit down with her. My semblance, actually. I could calm someone down with a stare. After some practice, I've been able to focus more aura into my eyes and enhance it over time. What I did to you was second level to my semblance. Anyway, I heard Brandon ask if you wanted to step in the ring, she says, while sitting next to me. I made the mistake of looking into her eyes again, but I don't feel the effects from earlier hit me a second time. So, how many levels do you have to it? And he did, but I'm not confident fighting hand to hand. You see my crescent rose, right? 4. As for confidence, come on. You won't be confident until you start practicing. You won't have that overgrown scythe at your side forever. Look, I taught Yang boxing. Well, to be exact, I taught her the footwork, how to shift her center of gravity with a punch, and the different punches she can throw and transition into. She did all the cardio workouts herself, the muscle training, and she got herself some fine abs in Signal. I hear her begin to purr and I clear my throat, drawing her out of her daydream and snapping her gaze to me. I was about to make the dumbest remark. I was about to be like, ew. I was not hear about my sister's abs in that way. I shiver in slight discomfort. Sorry about that. Anyway, come on. I'll start you off on focus mitts. How does that sound? She's so persistent. Guess I'm stuck. Well, I guess I could to maybe pass the time. Awesome. Brandon, get me some gloves for Ruby. She smiles, appearing to be completely hyped up that I agreed. She stands up and begins walking towards the ringside while I stand to follow. Brandon comes over and holds out a pair of gloves that she takes from him. Those are the smallest we got, kid. If you plan on coming here more, I'll make sure to get you your own pair. You know everyone would love to see more of you. Go easy on her, Shun. Brandon smiles at me. Shun! That's her name! That's the easiest get out of jail card for knowing her name. It's just someone else needs to mention her name. Psh, you act like I don't know how to hold back. She looks at him with a blank stare. You don't. That's why I'm glad you're letting her wear the gloves. Brandon says with a shake of his head. I don't feel too safe now. I gulp. Shun already having the gloves secured on me. He's just being an ass. Show me your best boxing stance, she smiles. You're going to love her, Shun. Brandon chuckles and walks away. I take a deep breath, imagining how Yang usually stands at the start of a fight, and try to picture it reversed since I am a lefty. I slide my left foot back, twisting my hips accordingly, and bring my gloves up to cover most of my face while tucking my elbows in tightly to my body. Yang always has me help her with focus mitts, so seeing her revert to the stance I am currently mirroring leaves me under the assumption that this is the proper form. I think you may want to switch the other way. You have it backwards, she says after looking at my hands and feet. But I'm a lefty. Yang stands the other way around and she's right hand. I thought, a fellow southpaw. She begins to laugh and looks over her shoulder to see Brandon is gone. The old bastard is right. I like you already. Alright, well, start off simple. You know what a jab is? Most basic punch in boxing? It's a straight punch using the leading hand, I say, with a smile on my face, which is hidden behind the glove since I am still in the boxing stance. You sound like a dictionary. Who taught you? Oh my god, a dictionary. I watch boxing with Yang sometimes and I got confused at all the terms and stuff. So I was bored and looked them all up. I watch boxing with Yang sometimes and I got confused at all the terms and stuff. So I was bored and looked them all up. I paused, letting out a sigh. Okay, I can deal with that. The real reason is because I was sick of Yang laughing at me when I kept calling a hook a sweep punch and an uppercut a rocket punch. My explanation makes Shun laugh and collapse onto the floor, clutching her stomach for air. Are you kidding me? A sweep punch? She shouts at me doing her laughing fit. Her loud voice draws the attention of a few people who give her a funny look, but eventually ignore her and go back to their training regimen. I get it, it's funny. Can we please start? Really, I don't care for starting. I just want her to stop laughing at me. At my question, she sits up and shakes her head a few times. finding away a few more giggles before holding up her bare hands. Alright, show me your jab, she raises, her hands up, nodding to me. Wait, you're not gonna wear focus mitts? I ask, making her chuckle again. Nah, I hate... Oh, hold on, I literally just lost my place. Nah, I hate having any extra weight in my arms. It bothers me. She raised her hands slightly higher, gesturing me to go on. Oh man. Sorry about that. I took a deep breath and let out a sharp exhale as I sent my right hand into her left and pull it back as fast as I can. She has a shocked look on her face and gestured me to do it again. Which I do, and also getting a similar recognition. Ruby, you should try boxing, she states flatly while I continue to jab into her hand, having a short pause between attempts. Why? I ask her, stopping for a moment, but she quickly gestures for me to keep going. I'm not sure how much Yang's improved, but she's always been quite a power puncher. I should go out on a limb here and say you punch much faster than her. I mean, you have no power in your punches compared to her, but that's a given. While she talks, I keep going, taking shorter intervals between each punch when I become comfortable with the motion. Does Yang talk about me at all? Her question makes me pause. The look in her eyes shows there's a meaning to my answer, and I bite my lip, being unable to answer any other way but honestly. She used to, back when she was going to Signal. She always talked about her gym buddy and how the two of you always end up competing for who can do a workout with more weights or finish it faster. There had to have been you. It hasn't been you, but since then she hasn't. For my answer, I watch the cheetah ears lower and she nods her head at me. Yeah, can't blame her. Anyway, now that I think about it, she may not be too keen on leaving her little sister with me. He said she'll be here soon. I asked her if it's alright to do some focus smithing with me then. She reaches over and begins to tug the gloves off of my hands. Huh? Why wouldn't she? Well, we aren't on the greatest terms right now. She finishes pulling off both gloves and ruffles my hair before she turns around to bring the gloves back to Brandon, wherever he is. In the meantime, I go back to one of the benches along the wall and decide to watch the practice match going on in the ring. A few minutes later, I see Sean walking towards me and takes a seat next to me on the bench. So, what happened between you and Yang? I ask out of curiosity. If she hasn't told you, then she doesn't want you to know. Don't be nosy. She tells me and pokes me on the nose with the second knuckle of her index finger. But she's my sister. I should know. I shout in protest. Tough luck. Wait, is that? I watch as Sean looks over my head to the door with a growling scowl on her face. Oh shit! I turn my head to see her looking at Weiss, who is just stopping and starting to talk to someone, but the other person being blocked by the doorway. Oh, that's Weiss, I say with a smile. But when I look back at Sean, she is already walking past me, and I stand up to follow. Weiss? Isn't she a snee? Sean asks, speeding up her walk, so I have to jog to follow her long strides. Yes, she is, but she's totally awesome. You'll get along with her easily. The last thing I need is to make friends with the heir to a faunus hating. I bet she's just like the rest of them. Sean growls. She pushes open the door to the gym and continues walking, making me scream in an attempt to stop her. She's not like that. Leave her alone. My words fall on deaf ears, except for Weiss, who turns her head. Just in time to see a wound-up left punch going straight towards her. I see Weiss raise up her left hand. Just before the punch connects, a small, solid glove appearing in it and smack. And just before the punch connects, a small, solid glyph appearing in it and smacking the punch away with no effort. Wait, that was... What's the big deal? Weiss screams, eyeing down Shun while I stand there in complete shock. I didn't think Weiss would ever be able to do it again. It makes me a bit nervous to see her adopt that same stance Cinder uses, but with the lack of the glowing blue eyes, I feel much more relieved. Last thing we need is a damn faunus hater or patch, Shun screams, her fist clenched, although she takes a slight step back after having a punch brushed off. If you listen to me, you would know that Weiss isn't a faunus hater. From my peripherals, I could see Blake starting to move until she is standing in front of Weiss. It would be more logical to say that if she were not conversing with me, the faunus sleeper that her company abuses does not at all explain who she is as a person. I have no idea how Blake is able to speak so calmly after after Weiss almost got punched, but there is a small focused look in her eye that never leaves Sean while she speaks. And who the hell are you? I've never seen you in Patch. I'm Yang's girlfriend, Blake says flatly. I see. So you're the one who's dating my little sunflower, Shun says with a chuckle. Sunflower? Yang? That would be correct. Except she isn't yours, Blake says, reaching behind her back to move Weiss out of the way. You have guts, I'll give you that. Give me a reason why I shouldn't send you back into next year with one punch. Shun has a growling growl in her as a growing growl in her throat that eventually becomes shiver-inducing. That's easy. You didn't strike me when I announced I am Yang's girlfriend. You either have no feelings for Yang anymore, which would make you striking me of no value. That, or you have the feelings for Yang still and I wish to stay in whatever good graces she may. Or you may think she has you in. Blake speaks with her hands at her side, completely confident that nothing will turn into a brawl. The thing I hate more than Faunus haters are people who think they know me. You never met me. You've never been in my shoes, within my mindset, within my life. What makes you think you know anything about me? Shun keeps yelling with a slight break in her voice. I want to get around her and go to Weiss, but at the same time, I feel like me stepping between them will make things progress at a bad pace than it already is. Yang spoke of you in high regard in the laundromat. As a matter of fact, it brings me to question that I would prefer your answer willingly. And if I refuse to answer, I can't see Shun, but I am sure she is smirking with the way she said that. Then I won't hesitate to beat the answer out of you. Blake snaps in response, then reverts back to her calm, slow way of talking. However, it's your choice. After a long moment of silence, Shun reaches behind me and gestures me to pass her. I'll talk to you alone. We can chat in the gym. Shun's voice is a lot quieter, and as I walk by her, I see her hand swipe past my face and land on my head, ruffling it. Behave yourself, kid. As I walk by, I see Blake giving me her confident grin and walk into the gym with Shun, leaving me with Weiss, who looks at me and then looks away. 1 week, she says without making eye contact with me. Huh? 1 week since I've been able to make that glyph. It's nowhere near as strong as before, though. Weiss, I don't care about the glyph. I was worried about you. Can't you make glyphs anyway? I've seen you make 4 one time. This one's different, Ruby. It's practically indestructible. You saw how much effort it took Yang to break that other one. This glyph has the same exact durability, but it doesn't have the same mass. And with practice, I will be able to make it larger over time. Weiss explains, walking over and hugging me. Who's that girl anyway? Well, she used to go to Signal with Yang. I was in Signal at the time too. I was a freshman, but I never met her in the school. I wrap my arms around Weiss and smile, giving her back a few pokes that make her wiggle my grip. Stop it, dolt. Oh, Ted says hi. She says as the memory dawns onto her. Oh, man. Teddy? I knew he'd take good care of you. Wait, his name is Teddy? Weiss asked while we separate from the hug. Nope, I used to call him Teddy Bear when I was younger, and then he just asked me to call him Ted because the name was a bit embarrassing and was catching on among everyone else. So now most people know him as Ted, thanks to me. I smile, leaning in to try to get another hug from Weiss, but she gently pushes me away. Not another one, Ruby. You know I am not the biggest PDA person. Huh? Like the file type? That's a PDF, genius. I mean, public displays of affection. Weiss rolls her eyes at me. Oh, come on. Everyone here is super nice. At least come with me to the bakery. It's across the street. I point over Weiss's shoulder to the town's bakery. It's a pretty small place, but they have anything sweet that I could ever want to eat. Fine, Weiss sighs and begins walking across the empty street while I enter a jog to catch up to her before slowing to a skip to pass her. And then a walk so I can get the door and hold it open for her. Son of a bitch. I yawn. Oh man. My nose is runny there. It's probably because the room is cold for some reason. Oh man. When I pull the door open, it triggers a small bell that rings and lets the store clerk know someone is entering. Before Weiss goes inside, she looks left and right and takes a quick peek into the store. Whatever she is looking for, she appears to be satisfied with and leans over to give me a quick kiss on the cheek. After she enters, I follow behind her, a bright smile on my face. Hello? Anybody home? I shout as I walk in behind Weiss. Not seeing anyone at the counter. Don't yell, that's rude. Weiss snaps at me. But she'd kill me if I didn't come see her the first time I come into town, I protest. And at that exact moment, I see a woman about Blake's height come out from the back and smile the moment we make eye contact. She has long black hair, although it is turned into a bun to keep within the hairnet she is wearing, along with a white bakery uniform. She has brown eyes, a somewhat tan complexion, and a happy-go-lucky smile on her face. My, if it isn't Ruby Rose in the flesh. Finally back from prancing about in Vale, eh? Let me guess, Yang just whooped someone's ass. Again, and you're here to claim the winnings, she asked while coming from around the corner to hug me. Not today, Ann. Just wanted to come say hi and all. Oh, and this is my partner Weiss. She's from Atlas. I point over to Weiss, who pinches the sides of her dress and curtsies to Ann. It's a pleasure, Weiss says, keeping a warm smile on her face that looks somewhat forced in my eyes. No need for any of that fancy high-class mumble-jumble here. I'm just a baker. Been in the family trade for... Sheesh, I'd rather not think about how long. Anyway, I'm in the back making a fresh tray. If you want some that I have out, RWBY? You want some that I have out, RWBY? I need to make room. Haven't sold nearly as many cookies with you being away. Yin Yang brought me the best business. Wow, RWBY, you really bought that many cookies? Weiss gasped in complete shock. Her buy? Please, her family would have gone bankrupt. Yang and her fancy fighting. The girl makes anyone who bets against her buy RWBY cookies when she wins. And I will say, I can't remember the last time Yang fought and RWBY didn't get something to nibble on. And giggles at her fancy way, saying that Yang never loses. Yang, it sounds like something the brute would do for her sister. Oh, could I get 6 chocolate chip cookies for RWBY? Weiss reaches into her dress pocket and pulls out her wallet, but Anne shakes her head. Oh, no you don't. I was already fixing on giving them to RWBY. Don't need one of her beacon friends wasting Lian. I'll be right back. Anne disappears behind the counter and begins to package a box of cookies, leaving Weiss with a slightly disheartened look while she puts her wallet away. Walk over to Weiss and smile at her. Though at the same exact moment, we see a flash come from the door, and when we look at it, our eyes widen to see a blinding orange light from across the street, and more importantly, within the gym. Weiss and I look at each other, then dash out the door. I summons my way across the street and hop in through one of the completely shattered windows thanks to what must have been an aura burst from Yang. When I get inside, all I see are bodies scattered around the boxing ring, along with Yang standing in the middle, panting for air. A closer look and I can see Blake is out cold against one of the corners and Shun is unconscious against the other. Yang? What did you do? I ask in a frightened voice. My sister looks at me with her red eyes still panting and trying to calm down. I exploded. Oh shit. And that is pretty crazy. Jesus. Alright. Oh shit. Oh god. Ah, my chest. Oh, I shouldn't stretch like that. Oh man, I have a bruise and it hurts whenever I stretch. Oh man. I don't like that feeling. It feels like shit. All right. Oh man, this is turning out for the worst. And what I mean by I mean like between the whole Shun and Blake thing. Shit. All right. Let's do this. Chapter 52, Burning Affections. This isn't Yang's POV. All right, we're getting like a POV from everyone. All right. Rubes, I think Weiss may be getting lonely back there. Should go catch up to her. I whispered to my sister who is standing to my left. Fine. You two are probably gonna start flirting anyway. RWBY giggles and slows down to let Weiss catch up to her. We were already entering the town and my nerves have been catching up to me with what could happen should Blake and Shun meet up. Alright, Yang, what is it? And a soft monotone of Blake. Alright, hold on. Let me do that again. Alright, Yang, what is it? I hear the soft monotone of Blake to my right, and I turn my head to see her looking at me with an accusing glare. Are you sure you want to meet her? I don't want to see you two fight. I really don't. I sigh. Deep down in the bottom of my heart, I still have feelings for Shun. Nothing that would ever make me consider going back to her, but enough that would pain me to see her get hurt, regardless of how cold I was to her yesterday, or how awkward it felt being near her. If it makes you feel any better, I won't get into any serious confrontation with her unless provoked. Doesn't help at all. She could be a hothead. She probably has a shorter fuse than me. You already don't like her, and I don't want you two fighting. That's final. I look at Blake with a firm stare. She sighs and pats my shoulder, which signals me to take a deep breath. My eyes turn to red again. No promises, Yang. I'd appreciate it if you trust me a little more. However, Blake keeps looking ahead while we walk. It's not about trust, Blake. Believe me, I trust you with everything I have. At the end of the day, she is still your first love, correct? Blake asked without the break in her voice. Hearing her say that makes me lower my face. It makes me lower my face forward and hope she doesn't get mad at me for the fact that she is right. It's not. Don't lie to me, Yang. I still feel for my first partner, but the life we lived changed him for the worse. I needed to break my ties with him, and what I thought was a noble cause. If I saw him right now, I'd surely freeze. I wouldn't know what to say, do, or think. If he knew me inside and out, he knew me inside and out. So don't you tell me you still don't have feelings for that girl. If that's the case, then I fear for what would happen to your thoughts and me should we ever break up. We're never breaking up, Blake. I quickly respond. Gritting my teeth that she would even utter such a thought out loud. You can't predict the future, Yang. Let's be real here. We don't know what may happen in the future. I have a past that can catch up to me at any time. We could both have enemies in the shadows we don't even know about. We are not breaking up ever. End of topic. I stop as we reach the corner of the block and I stop to turn around, putting my best smile for RWBY and Weiss. Alright, you two. Hold on. Alright, you two. I call out in a loud voice while they catch up to us. They switch my attention to RWBY first. This is mainly for Weiss, RWBY. You know your way around. Just no going to the end, got it? You never let me see what's down there, Yang. I want to know. RWBY debates, but I stare her down until she looks away. Rubes, I think you'd be smart enough to know I don't want you going there because it's not a place for you. Same as the industrial part of Vale. Not an environment I want you in. Alright, Weiss. I turn my head to her. Laundromat is on the next block. Can't miss it. Across the street and another 3 blocks after the laundromat is the kickboxing gym I practice at. You go another block after that and there's a deli that makes epic sandwiches. Ever need something quick and tasty, you go there. Finally, and I believe this is what you want to know most, is that a block after the deli is a supermarket. I stop and think about any place else she may want to know about, but for now that will suffice. I'm sure she'll ask RWBY about anything else. I'm going to set my clothes to wash and some of Blake's, I say while clenching the strings to the laundry sack of clothes tighter while I keep it slung over my shoulder. Afterwards, the 2 of us will be in the gym. If you 2 need anything, Blake has your scroll. I forgot mine. Got it? Yep, RWBY says with a smile and begins to cross the street while Weiss enters right after. Crystal. And begins to follow RWBY. As the 2 cross the street, Blake and I continue to walk down the next block until we come to the door of the laundromat. The framing for the windows and outer wall are all a green color, and through the wall, all you can see are decorative white tiles, white walls, and white machines all over the place. If finding Waldo in a candy cane factory was tough, try finding Weiss in the laundromat. I'm sure it would be equally as challenging. As we get to the single door, Blake holds it open and gestures me inside. I smile, leaning over to give her a kiss, but she lifts a finger to my lips to stop me. I guess she is mad at me for my tone earlier, but a smug look on her face says otherwise. Set the clothes to wash first. We'll never get it done if you start kissing me now. I feel a hand pressed my bag and shoved me inside, leaving me a smile across my face. The door is placed towards the right side of the store, so when I walk in, I am met with the store counter to my right. I drop the bag down and ring the nearby bell, waiting for the attendant to come out. Glad I brought cash today, or else Blake would kill me if she found out how I paid to clean my clothes. Just a minute. A sweet bashful voice calls from behind an open door. What are we waiting for, Yang? Blake asks after walking next to me and leaning on the counter. Oh, the store owner likes to keep all the detergent and stuff behind the counter. Plus, I use a different chemical for my clothing to keep them nice and colorful. Yang, you wear black most of the time. And I wear orange and yellow, I defend. A few seconds later, there are audible footsteps coming from behind the counter. When I look back, I met with the sweet green eyes of the attendant. She has beautiful blonde hair with long bangs that covered the left side of her face, aside from her lips and jawline. Her hair is long and straight, going all the way down to her waist. Although she is about 5'3", rivaling the height of RWBY and Weiss. I can't see her shoes, but she is wearing her usual crystal blue 2-button blouse that expands along the bottom tie mesh, and with the short frill skirt she is wearing. I don't say squirt. The color of the outfit has a more fluffy design, as a pure white color with the material being significantly porous. Yang, what are you doing here? She asks with a creeping blush across her face. Came to wash my clothes. Duh. I answer with a chuckle. You don't know what I mean, jerk. Why are you back in Patch? I mean, aren't you supposed to be in Beacon? Aren't you supposed to be in Beacon? She speaks softly. On winter break, Angel. This is Blake, by the way. I gesture to my right to Blake, who is still leaning on the counter. Angel turns her head and gasps in surprise for not noticing her. Sorry, I'm Angelica. It's a pleasure to meet you, Blake. She smiles, extending out her hand, which Blake smiles, shakes, and smiles in return. Don't be sorry. I'm not easy to notice. Pleasure, by the way. Blake responds and goes back to being an onlooker to the conversation. So what do you need, Yang? Angel asks. The usual, the usual. You know what I use. One for whites, one for colors, and one to keep my dark clothing nice and shadowy, I say. And before I am done, Angel peeks over her shoulder to see if she has the bottles I use in front, or if she needs to go back through the door and look through the inventory. Okay, there they are, she says more to herself than to me. Oh, as she turns around, walking into 3 different groups to take out the three bottles I want and places them on the counter. She begins coming out to the front of the counter, and I quickly try to stop her. Actually, I have cash, Angel, I say while she is just getting around the counter and looks at me. From here, I can see the white flats she is wearing. Since when do you pay with cash? I thought that you like to. Well, about that, you see. Oh, and what is it that you like to do, Yang? Oh, what is it? Oh, and what? Oh, and what is it that you like to do, Yang? Blake whispers into my ear. I feel her breath brush over my neck, and I shiver with fear and nervousness. Please, dear Angelica. I'm very interested in hearing. I look at Angel, hoping she sees my look for her not to, but at Blake's request, she looks down and begins to kick her right foot over the tiles of the floor, adopting a very bashful stance. Well, Yang and I came here a lot, and well, she didn't have money one time, so after me saying no to her like a million times that I won't let her wash for free, well, she grabbed me by the collar of my shirt and kissed you. Blake completes, making me wince at her cold tone. Yeah, so I really liked it, and well, Yang would do that from then on, as for my preference. The Angel's cheeks are a beet red when she looks back up towards me, or rather towards Blake, who is peeking over my shoulder. I see. That's sweet of you, Yang, she says to me in a sweet voice that is practically mocking me. I can't turn to face Blake right now. I'm far too terrified of the look she is giving me. So, Angelica, did she use tongue each time? Blake asks, and again I wince, seeing Angel blush more and nod her head slowly. Hand on the back of the head? Other on your lower back? She keeps piling on the questions. Yes, but so that she would reach under my skirt. Wait, why am I telling you this? Yes, Angel, why are you telling her this? I think you got lost in the moment, Blake says flatly. Anyways, I'm sure Yang would love to give you a kiss. Isn't that right, Yang? Blake asks me. What do you mean, Blake? I can't. I pause, feeling Blake's nails press into my lower back. I can? I whimper in confusion, and her nails lessen their pressure. I don't see why not. Just don't go making it last an hour, she whispers into my ear and pulls away from my neck. I know she's directly behind me, but then I feel her lips pressing to my neck, and out of nervousness, I flinch. Go on, she whispers to me with sweet words. You'll just make it up to me right after. Do it like you always do. I can't help but feel like I am in a trap. I have no idea what Blake is playing, but I bet it's just her trying to find a reason to break it off with me right now, and she is stupid if she thinks I'm going to kiss someone else when I am with her. I take a deep breath, and in a firm tone I begin speaking. Angel, I hate to say this, but I can't. I feel Blake's nails digging into my back, making me flinch and yelp with slight pain. Oh shit! Sorry guys, that was my alarm. But why not? I mean, I still look okay, right? Her green eyes look into mine, close to bearing tears. You still think I'm cute, right? It's not that I sort of have a fuck shout as Blake's nails dig deeper, and I can hear her telling me to shut up. But I want to prove to Blake I'm serious about it. We can do that too. She looks down at the girl with a bright smile along her lips, while she is most likely thinking of what I am capable of doing in the bedroom. All of which all I have to say must be far underestimated. I always surpass expectations. I take a deep breath, reaching behind me to grab Blake's hands and pull them away from my back before she ends up bloodying my clothes. I pull Blake next to me, looking at her yellow eyes. What's the big idea? That hurts! I shout, and Blake just rolls her eyes. Idiots, I think I want you to just... You think I just want you to quit being who you are? She folds her arms. Yes, we are going out, but I don't expect you to stop being the flirty blonde you already are. Especially when we haven't even gotten as far as I'm sure you're dying to be. You two are a couple? I'm sorry, Blake. I mean, I didn't know that. This is not a good way to meet someone. Angel turns to her right, hiding her face thanks to her long bangs that... Why do I keep saying loud? Long bangs that cascade along the left half of her face. What are you talking about, Blake? I quit all that for you. I'm serious about you. Since the dance, I knew that everything I do will change. I knew what going out with you meant. I didn't care. I still don't care. I shout, my eyes turning red. Throughout my entire rage, Blake has had a growing smile on her face, until finally she reaches a hand out and touches my cheek. The feeling of her hand instantly snaps me out of my anger and lets me take a long breath to calm down. Idiots, there's still things I am willing to forgive, especially if I am present. I trust you far too much to let a kiss tear me from you. Her words are kind, but they only cut deeper into my heart. That's not it, Blake. I push her against the counter with one hand, the other wrapped firmly around her waist and pulling her against me. Her eyes widen while she looks at me with her face inches from mine. Blake, I just can't do it anymore, I whisper. Out of the corner of my eye, I could spot Angel standing there in shock at what is going on, but I could care less if the entire town were watching right now. And why is that, she asks. And why is that, she asks, tilting her head to one side. There are a few people I can still kiss after being with you. I could count on one hand the people who've left me completely breathless. And sorry, Angel. I turn my head in a moment to look at the green-eyed girl, but you're not one of them, although you're one of the cutest girls I know. Angel nods her head at me and smiles. She quickly makes her way behind the counter and begins to disappear behind the door. But before she does, she turns around to look at me, still holding a bright smile on her face. I knew it wasn't that special, Hang. I really like the way you kissed me, and, the wash is free. Just tell me how much when you're done. And following those words, she peers into the back room. The moment she is out of sight, I look back down at Blake and sigh. I can't act like I used to. Not with every single person I ever encountered. It doesn't feel right, kitty cat. Aside from you, there are only two people I could show any affections to, and even then I don't want to. You're everything I want and everything I need. When I said we aren't breaking up, I meant that. I'd do anything to keep you with me. You were right. I do still have feelings for Sean, but she broke me, Blake. I don't care how many hearts I've broken. None of those heartaches could compare to what she did to me. We're not for who knows how long. Possibly 2 years, and one day I wanted to show her that I only need her. I feel tears swelling in my eyes. Blake is looking at me with a softened gaze, realizing just how much this all means to me. Yang, I had no idea that... No, you don't have an idea. She took me to her house once, and we almost did it. Almost! I wasn't ready. I didn't think I would ever be. I was always confident, always flirtatious. But the fact of the matter was I was still a virgin. Oh god, it's kind of weird to say that. After all that I finally felt like she'd never leave me, and I did it. My tears began to flow down my cheeks until finally they drip onto Blake's chest. My vision is a haze, and her beautiful eyes blend in with the color of her skin. Every color in front of me meshing together until I could no longer tell where her clothing begins or where it ends. A few months later, when she graduated from Signal, she left me. She looked at me in the eye and told me that it was all just a fun ride and she wasn't looking for anything long-lasting. I shake my head, starting to chuckle. She occupied my entire life. We trained together, went everywhere together. I went to all of her track meets. She went to all of my boxing matches in the gym. Hell, she's a kickboxer, but she taught me all the basics of boxing and took it to the next level. She was everything to me. I drop my head down onto Blake's chest and I feel her hands touch the back of my neck, but I raise my head to brush them off. I was attached to her, Blake, and now I'm even more attached to you. When I said we would never break up, I meant I would do anything it takes to keep us together. Anything. I don't want you finding Shun, because I may very well hospitalize her myself for touching you, and then break down knowing I knocked out the person who I had all those feelings for in the past. My grip on Blake's waist loosens and I begin to pull away to go do the laundry and take my mind off of things. I reach down and pick up the bag and walk to the farthest corner of the room to do my laundry. I reach into my pocket, pulling out 3 yen and placing one into 3 adjacent machines to open them up. I open the bag and begin to separate everything into the 3 machines, whites into one, blacks into another, and colors in the last, until the bag is completely empty. It's then I realize I left the 3 bottles I need on the counter in the front, but the last thing I want to do is face Blake. My head is just now clearing, and I'd rather not have her scold me. If you're going to avoid me by coming this far, you shouldn't leave something you need next to me. I look to my right, seeing Blake struggling to hold the 3 bottles in her arms. I quickly move over and take them from her, placing each bottle on top of the according washing machine. You use a cupful, right? Blake asks, and I answer her with a wordless nod of my head. While I slowly open a bottle for the first washer, she makes short work of doing the other for the other two, and setting them both to begin the wash cycle. After I set mine to go, I turn my head to look at her, and she is leaning against one of the washers with her arms folded while looking at me. I'm not mad at you, if that's what you're expecting. Honestly, I thought you were mad at me, but the way you walked off said otherwise. Actually, you should be mad at me. I'm sorry, Yang. She speaks in her usual relaxed voice, but the last 3 words were spoken in more of a hush. The type of a hush that is used to conceal an oncoming voice crack. What are you sorry for, Blake? You had nothing to be sorry for. If anything, I should stop it, Yang. I was inconsiderate to try to get you to carry on like your usual self. I didn't expect you to just be able to quit everything you do for me. As a matter of fact, I still don't expect you to. I was thinking that until I'd be a little forgiving and tolerant since, well, I'm still sort of holding things up, and once we finally, then you stop the rest of that by yourself. Blake shrugs her shoulders while her arms are folded. Her eyes downcast the entire time she speaks, although now she starts to walk towards me. Anyway, aside from the bottles, I came for this. I watch as she walks over to me, and with motion shows me against one of the washing machines and presses her lips to mine. I place my hands on her. Oh my god, I'm starting to my voice is starting to get congested. Oh no, this is bad. Oh man. Okay, I might have to cut it short. Yeah, I'm gonna have to cut it short. Alright. I watch as she walks over to me, and with motion she shoves me against one of the washing machines and presses her lips to mine. I place my hands on her shoulders to gently press her away, mainly because I was not expecting it and I can't breathe, but she grabs both of my wrists and slams them into the top of the washer. The second her lips connected with mine, her tongue presses into my lips, demanding entry and getting it without so much as a struggle for me. The surprise attack from Blake leaves me mind-fogged, my body weak and everything else disoriented. She pulls back for a brief moment, giving me time to gasp and take in one breath before she goes right back into continue our kiss. My legs are shaking at this point, and my footing is extremely poor. Several seconds later, I feel my feet begin to slide, until I begin to slide to the floor, with Blake bending over and soon crouching to follow me. The journey to the ground ending with me sitting against the washer, and Blake seeing herself on my lap, finally breaking the kiss, giggling to herself on how heavy my pants are. Now that the clothes are in the washer, I see no reason why I can't give you a kiss now, she whispers. I'm gonna go look around and check on Ruby and Weiss. See you at the gym. I feel Blake's body move away and hear her footsteps go by until she is no longer in the area. She's understanding when she needs to be. Another reason why I love her. I can smile to myself, realizing just how fortunate I am to be able to call her my girlfriend. I lose track of time, thinking of Blake. Something special I can do for her while she's on patch. Other places to bring her on the island, although I haven't explored the entire island much myself. Or maybe find something I could buy her. The amount of time that has passed is brought to life when the washing machine I am leaning on against stops its humming and comes to a stop. The stop in movement snaps me out of my daydream, and I quickly stand up to place the 3 batch of clothes into 3 separate dryers that are right across the front of the washing machines I was just using. I instantly lean into each dryer and put them to a different setting according to the clothing load, and decided to go see if Blake met up with Weiss and Ruby yet. I walk to the door, but Angel calls my name and stops me. Yang, could you come here, please? She asks, coming out from behind the counter. What's up? I ask, walking towards her, only to be greeted by her arms wrapping around my neck tightly. Blake told me a few things, and well, I'm really happy for you two. Just don't go forgetting about me, okay? I'm no Blake, but I'm always here to talk if you ever need it, alright? She pulls from her hug and gives me a completely genuine smile, and at that moment I feel compelled to thank her. I will, Angel. I reach out and grab the back of her head, my other hand swinging around her waist and pulling her against me. She looks up at me with red cheeks and a look of confusion on her face. Before she can say anything, I lean down and press my lips briefly to her upper lip, then a second and a final third time. Thank you, I whispered to her, and let her go, before I turn around and jog out the door. I dash down the street, and when I see the gym is on the next block, I dash diagonally across the street towards the door. I open it up and smile, expecting to see the 3 of my teammates sitting around or watching a match, but instead my entire reality crashes when I look into the ring. Blake has her hands taped up and is in her Muay Thai stance. Oh shit. I look across the ring and my eyes swell up with tears seeing Shun in her southpaw stance. But instead of her boxing stance, she is completely serious. She has her right hand low over her stomach and her left hand close to her face. She is bouncing on her heels and is standing completely upright in her kickboxing stance. I told Blake what would happen if I saw this. Why is she? Why are they? I stand there frozen as the two of them begin exchanging. I look around the room to see that this is the second round, which means they've already got 3 minutes fighting each other, which pisses me off even further. My body moves on its own. I begin running to the stage. I can see Brandon looking at me with wide eyes, most likely from my red eyes and possibly glowing hair at the sight of seeing the two people I have the strongest feelings for fighting each other. He comes over and attempts to intercept me, but without breaking stride, I jump into the air and spin, using the momentum to throw a knockout punch into his temple during my spin and land facing the same direction I started to keep running. I slide in from the bottom rope, the two of them going wide-eyed see me standing there. I can see both their mouths moving, but I can't hear a thing from them. I don't want you two fighting. I don't want it. I look down, seeing both of their feet. In a rational state, I would see them both walking towards me. All I can see now is that they are too close together, and that's the final push. Stay away from each other! I scream at the top of my lungs. I would have done it. I mean, I don't want to like wake up anyone. I mean, there's probably people already awake, but I mean, it's already almost 9 o'clock in the morning. So yeah, I was about to say the evening. I was about to say like it hasn't even been 9 hours. No, a couple of hours. I scream at the top of my lungs. I look up at the two of them, but all I see is a blinding flash engulf my vision. Seconds later, I gaze around in shock at the sight of Blake sitting in one corner, completely unconscious. Shun in the opposite corner in a similar state. I walk to the center of the ring, looking at both of them, believing that I need to stand between them, or else somehow they will wake up and begin fighting again. I hear a voice call my name, and when I turn, I see RWBY standing there with a worried look on her face. Yang, what did you do? After a few heavy breaths, I look around the room. Seeing everybody's on the ground, I realize what that bright flash from earlier was. I exploded. Alright. I did 4 chapters. I'm alright with that, and well, I don't want to like keep going if my voice is gonna start like sounding like congested. So I'm not gonna do a 5th chapter. Sorry guys. If I had bottled water, I would try to keep going, which is probably the reason why it didn't last that long. So yeah. Anyways, I don't know I don't know much about what to say. I mean, here, okay. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I think I remember talking about a Patreon in one of my videos. I may have deleted it from it, but I'm just gonna talk about it now. I mean, I keep on saying that it's not a good idea, like to myself, but I'm just gonna say it anyways. It's gonna be up in the air right now, but I'm thinking about it. Anyways, I might make a Patreon for pretty much narrating RWBY fanfiction, just so that I can be able to like afford some things like some new equipment, camera, so I can do a face cam of me narrating, and a lot of other things, because eventually this is going to be taken into longer strides, and I want to be able to do a lot more things, and eventually I might want just like more than just me to be narrating. I might want some people to be helping out with me narrating, and well, yeah. So that's pretty much how it is. Like, I don't want to force this upon you guys. It's like I said, it's up in the air, but I'm gonna be thinking about making a Patreon, and I don't know. I'm gonna have to be thinking about making tiers, like donation tiers for people that donate some money. But I want your input on this. Like, I really want to know, because I don't want to like force this upon you guys, and it's like all this is going to straight towards like my equipment. It's not gonna go to me, except for if I really need to, tickets to RTX and a hotel room for RTX. But that is pretty much it. That's the only other thing I would do with it otherwise than my equipment. So yeah, that is pretty much it. I mean, like, to go along with that, the Patreon might also be for my Twitch. So like I said, it might just go with equipment and things. Well, man, I should really be thinking about this when I'm talking about it. Okay, let me rephrase that. The Patreon is going to be probably for this. Well, it's definitely going to be for this if I do it, and probably for my Twitch also. just so that I mean, you can donate on Twitch, but Patreon will just make things a lot easier. But yeah, what it will be for is just for equipment, games, and if need be, if I'm running low on money, tickets to RTX along with a hotel room for it. So yeah, that is pretty much it for me. That's pretty much all I wanted to talk about, and I apologize for not getting this story done by the end of last year. Like I said, I should expect it to be busy during the winter break, so yeah. Anyways, I'm glad to be narrating again. I know it's been 2 weeks since I've done one, more than 2 weeks actually. So yeah, I will see you guys later and stay classy. Really, I want your input on this, you guys, so please just put down in the comments, just letting me know like if it's a good idea for me to make a Patreon for this, because I mean, like I said, it'll make it'll definitely make things better for my narrating, and eventually I'll be able to make like a team for this. So yeah, that is pretty much it. All right, see you guys later, and as always, stay classy.